Radio show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly sunny good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center, along with Matthew Lester. And Matthew, almost summer-like out there coming in this morning, huh?
Yeah, it was a lot different than it was yesterday.
Well, I guess so. I see you don't have the winter hat on.
Yep.
That you had on Tuesday morning. Boy, that was wild. Looks like we're going to put the winter clothes away for a little bit. We're looking at some pretty nice temperatures for the next few days. Matter of fact, we're going to be running above average as far as our temperatures go, starting today and going really all the way into the first few days of the month of October. And right now it looks like pretty much rain-free, not much in the way of precipitation anywhere on the short-term or the long-term maps right now. Currently, Matthew, what do we have?
Well, over at the airport, it's mostly sunny at 69. Over in Midland, it's mostly sunny at 71. Here at Radio Center, it's sunny at 72. We have southwest winds at 3 miles per hour, and our pressure is at 30.27, and it's rising.
We have humidity level right around 70%. That'll be tapering off a little bit as we go through the afternoon. We probably will wind up in the 55 percentile when it comes to humidity, so we will be getting some dry down taking place. And quite frankly, we do need the heat units, as Bill Webster was telling us yesterday from Nutrient Ag. We need these warmer days and the milder nights to get those base 50 growing degrees going. We're running way behind what's normal for this time of the year. So whether you're a farmer, a gardener, or whatever, matter of fact, for looking at colors on the trees right now, everything is running behind for a number of different reasons. But basically, we have not had the heat units that we normally would have this time of the year, running anywhere from 150 to 200, and in some cases, some locales, more than 225 growing degrees less than what we normally should be. So as a result, the harvest is a little bit later. Those tomatoes, some of the garden variety type stuff, they continue to produce fruit. So not all that bad for the farmers markets. You're going to have the opportunity to get on some really fresh produce and sweet corn. There still is a good variety of sweet corn at a number of our farmers markets. So kind of a neat treat. What we owe all this to is a high pressure system right now, which is over western Pennsylvania and New York State. That's going to continue to propel some warmer air up at us here in Michigan. So by the time the day is all done, we're going to be looking at 80 degrees with mostly sunny skies. We'll have a few clouds track in later on this afternoon and early this evening. And as a result, we'll have partly cloudy skies tonight, but still quite a bit above average. We're going to be a good 10 degrees above normal for our low temperature tonight. I'm looking at 61. What's average is 50 for this time of the year. Tomorrow, we're not going to give up much when it comes to those temperatures. Again, we are looking for a high temperature of at least 79. More than likely, we should hit the 80-degree mark. We're going to have a southeast breeze, 7, 8, 9 miles per hour. That's going to be it. That southeast breeze will stay with us as we go through the day and the night on Friday. It'll become a little bit more easterly during the weekend. Specifically on Saturday, we're going to have an east breeze about 10 miles per hour. So the temperature is going to drop down just a little bit more. Tomorrow, close to 80. Saturday, 76. On Sunday, we'll drop down to about 72. But all the way through this process, we're not looking for any frontal systems to move through. So the chances of precipitation are not good at all. And it does appear right now as though the chances of precipitation now are getting pushed back, where originally we were thinking maybe Monday night or Tuesday seeing some precipitation, again, quite light. It looks like that chance of rain is pushed back now to at least Wednesday. Our temperature on Tuesday and Wednesday will be just a little bit cooler, about 69 degrees. But we're looking for the temperatures to work their way back up again. So all the way through the 4th of October, starting with today, temperatures will be running much above normal for this time of the year, which is 72 in the afternoon and 50 at night. And the precipitation pattern below normal for this time of the year. Warmest ever, 21st of September, 1931. 92 was our high. 74 was our low. The coldest ever, September the 21st, 1981, 47 was our high. 43 was our low. You would have needed the garb back then, Matthew.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
47 for a high on the 21st of September. And it didn't freeze. I mean, that was the odd thing. Usually when we get into about the 20th of September, that's when we begin to see chances of frost in the Great Lakes Bay Area. That is not going to happen. It looks as though those chances of frost will be put off at least until the, I want to say the first full weekend of October. And there's really no strong idea that we're even going to get a frost then. I'm not looking, obviously, for an early frost at all. The record high on this day was set way back in 1908. That was 94. The record low was 32, and that was set back in 1956. Now, a year ago, we were spoiled. 81 was our high. 57 was our low. We picked up about 1/10 of an inch of precipitation. Sun will set this evening at 7:36. Rise tomorrow morning at 7:23, and the autumnal equinox, first day of fall, in other words, that's going to come up on the 23rd. So we're going to be looking at Saturday morning at about 10 minutes to 3. That's when the sun is directly over the equator. And the equator's halfway up and halfway down. Equinox. That's what it's called. And after that, it's... can you imagine sunset at 5 o'clock in the afternoon?
I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for fall to be here.
I'm not ready for 5 o'clock sunset. I'll tell you that. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Matthew, who do we have standing by?
Up next, we have Melinda Sweeney from the Andersons and Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
But before we get to them, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrient Ag Solutions.
Nutrient Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrient Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrientagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrient Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. Be prepared, Mr. Farmer. A lot of you were as we move through the summer, and I know you're really happy you were working with the Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. If you weren't, maybe you should. The Sarr Agency is licensed to serve all of Michigan with both conventional and organic crop insurance. And you can get a hold of their agents directly on their cell for questions or emergencies. You can get a hold of the office in Reese as well if you'd like, 989-868-4722. The Michael Sarr Crop Insurance Agency. Along with us, Melinda Sweeney from the Andersons. Now, Melinda, I want to get one thing straight right now. We love you, okay? Evidently somebody in Chicago doesn't.
Thursdays are a rough day.
Wow. The last time I looked, soybeans were really having a rough day. What's going on right now?
Yeah, we got corn down 6, beans down 21, and wheat down 11. Today, a lot of what we're looking at is the lack of export demand on soybeans out of the U.S. year over year. We're down to China. Brazil's exports are up 58% on beans to China. So they've replaced 45% of the loss that we've had on our bean export to China. A few things we're looking at there, some of those small processing plants that will come on with some of this new renewable diesel in the forecast into 2023, 2024, and 2025, and how that changed the overall footprint of beans and the S&D sheet for beans in the U.S. here. Another thing we're looking at is Ukraine. It looks like they have struck a deal to move some grain, and Poland said they're going to continue to try to work with them to get the grain out of the country. So all eyes are on that. Big story here is, we're still expecting a big crop of corn, and there's not a ton of demand to back up our balance sheet right now. So the market is just doing a whole lot of nothing, but nothing good.
Yeah, nothing good. And obviously we are looking at a really good corn crop. It's coming off slow though. And it does appear, and we've been talking about this pretty much all week, and I think you're hearing it too. It looks like our guys are going to have to dry it down a little bit this year.
Yeah, definitely a little later on harvest, 1 to 3 weeks later on harvest, depending on what part of the state you're in when it comes to corn. I did hear you touch on a chance of frost not until the first full weekend of October. A lot of questions on some guys with some of that rolliness in the corn this year, looking at test weight and making sure we have our hands on what kind of quality is out in our fields too. So we're not shocked at anything when we get into it.
Yeah, the quality is going to be an issue. So what do you have on the board right now, Melinda?
Yeah, nearby corn, we're at 456. New crop corn, we're at 402. January corn, 450. Nearby soybeans, we're at 1225. New crop beans, same price, 1225. January beans, 1275. If you got any wheat still out there in storage, we're at 465 on the wheat. New crop 24 red wheat, 555. And then nearby white wheat, 534. And new crop 24 white wheat, $6.20.
You have a great day. We'll talk to you again next week, okay?
Sounds good, you too.
You bet. Melinda Sweeney over at the Andersons. Over to Oppenheimer, we go with Doug Klein. The Market Report brought to you by the Frankenmuth Credit Union. They can help. They've got lines of credit, equipment loans, financing for purchasing land, credit cards, and more. So why don't you just stop by any of their locations? They're all over the place. And find out how they can become your hometown financial solution. Find out more by going to frankenmuthcu.org. And by the folks at Steiner Tractor. Now, that tractor may be a hobby, passion, livelihood, or even your legacy for the next generation. At Steiner Tractor, they share your enthusiasm for these antique machines, and they know that you want to keep them running. That's why they take their job personally at Steiner Tractor Parts, because they understand how your life and job both stop if your tractor stops running. 800-234-3280. They'll help you out. Or you can go to the website. That's steinertractor.com. Doug Klein, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I guess what now the Ukrainian prime minister has the president has left now, the United States.
I don't know. I can't keep track of them. My gosh, if I had half the jet fuel that they burn up chit-chatting back and forth, I'd be a billionaire too. Of course, then I'd have to sink my own yacht, so I couldn't do that either.
No, there you go.
I wouldn't know what to do.
But from what I understand, and I just got off the phone there with Melinda Sweeney, she's saying that it does appear as though the Ukrainians are going to be able to get some of their grain out now.
Yeah, hopefully just cross the country and into the shipping containers, right? I mean, should not affect the farmers in Poland or those two other countries that are next to them. They're kind of kind of huffy right now with each other. I mean, Ukraine can't put anything through the Black Sea; it's too dangerous, and Russia says no. So, it's got to go somewhere, somehow, get out to the world. You'd think the price of grain would be up because they couldn't get their grain out to the market, but something doesn't make sense there at all.
Well, that's nothing new with the
Yeah,
markets.
nothing new at all.
No.
Nothing new at all. Well, the Fed disappointed yesterday. They're going to keep interest rates up for longer, not necessarily raising them, which they didn't do, but he said that they're going to stay higher for longer. So 24, 25. Still looking at plenty of tightness on the credit markets, keeping pressure on the markets that way. I have a hunch that they're gonna make some sort of an election right about the time that those, what do they call them, absentee ballots go out. Yeah, gonna think probably right about then they'll get some sort of a rally going, but that'll be short term too. So who knows? But Turkey raised their interest rates to 30%. I hope that doesn't affect Thanksgiving this year because that's kind of right
Ouch.
around the corner. You know, I
Woo.
mean, seriously,
30%?
yeah.
Wow.
So you think you got it bad?
Wow.
feeling like a turkey now.
They couldn't make
Uh,
it 29.9 or
yeah,
anything
right.
like
You
that.
know, yeah, 29.99 only,
Wow.
only. But well, crude oil's holding up, still above 90. The dollar's higher today, 105.35. That's not helping anything anywhere. Gold, silver, platinum, all getting, I would say, pounded 1.5% or so, 2%, 2.25% on platinum, 2.25% on copper. They're all under pressure. The stock market's sort of under pressure. S&P's down about 1%. The Dow is only down 0.5%, but the Nasdaq's down 1.1%. So that's not good either. Anyway, so here's your numbers. The December corn, 475.5, down 6 3/4. March corn is 490.25, down 6.5. November soybeans, 1298.5, down 21.5. March soybeans, 1327.25, down 19.5. December wheat is 578, down 10 3/4, and March wheat is 604.5, down 10 1/4. Crude oil is 90.17, up 51 cents. Heating oil is 334.36, that's up 10 cents. Gasoline is 257.49, that's up 4/10 of a penny. Petrol gas is 268.7, that is down 4.5 cents. For the currencies, Canadian dollar, US dollar buys $1.3486 Canadian, that's up 26 ticks. The dollar buys 147.39 yen, that's down 94 ticks. The euro's at 106.62, up 3 ticks. The dollar's at 105.37, up 25 ticks. Gold's at 19.20, down 28.60. Silver's 23.55, down 28.5 cents. Platinum's at 921.70, that's down $20.60.
We'll talk to you again tomorrow, Doug.
Will do.
All
Okay.
right, take care. Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Freeland Bean and Grain. Soil health is what they're working with right now, and opportunities out there to put some wheat in. Yeah, if you can get the crop off and get the wheat in, you're golden right now. It looks like we're going to have some pretty nice weather. We're also going to have the opportunity, if you got any questions, get a hold of Vic Hupfer over at Freeland Bean and Grain. He is a certified crop advisor, and he's got the answers to a lot of the questions you might have. Serving you since 1983, it's Freeland Bean and Grain, where serving you is their business. After the break, Matthew, who do we have coming up?
Up next, we have Jerry Samolsky from the Bay Landscaping and Garden Center.
But first, this.
Did it go okay when your insurance agent sat down with you to review the coverage checklist for your farm so you wouldn't have to worry about uncovered areas? You have reviewed your coverages lately, right? If not, maybe your agency should be the Emil Rummel Agency. At the Emil Rummel Agency, it's our job to understand the various risks you face every day on your farm, and then provide you with the right insurance policy that is based on your needs. If your current insurance agent is not offering this kind of service, it's time you talked with the Emil Rummel Agency, because we listen and then we respond to what we hear. The Emil Rummel Agency is located in Frankenmuth, Vassar, Cairo, and in Saginaw. Call us today at 800-572-0939. That's 800-572-0939. Or visit us on the web at rummelinsurance.com.
Do you have a yield monitor in your combine? Do you print off a pretty picture every year, but you don't know what to do with it? Why don't you have PC Ag Solutions analyze your data to help you make profitable decisions for the upcoming season? We can help you analyze your data from your planter, sprayer, or combine and compare it to your soil types and nutrient availability. Anything from the planting date to your speed, population, and variety to elevation, drainage, and in-season applications. We can help you make the most profitable decision on your farm. Call us today. 989-868-4444.
Before it's too late and white mold becomes a problem, you need to ask your seed dealer for Heads Up seed treatment. When raising soybeans in the Midwest, you know the risk of being caught unprepared. As heard on Ag PhD, there are several steps you can take prior to planting for a successful management plan against white mold. Compatible and cost-effective season-long protection starts now by asking your seed dealer to apply Heads Up to your bean seed order. For more information, visit headsupst.com.
Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Quality Roasting of Reese, purchasing local soybeans, processing local beans, and marketing local Exceller meal, which is a high bypass soybean meal for your dairy herd. They've been doing that since 1991. Quality Roasting of Reese. Contact your nutritionist or local feed dealer today and tell them about Exceller meal from Quality Roasting of Reese. We say good morning to Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. And Jerry, we got some beautiful weather to put that plant of the week in.
We sure do, Terry. Plant of the week this week, we're calling it holly. And you can plant them now and you have some trimmings for your holiday boughs and around the house Christmas time. Holly is a great plant. It's a really dark, lustery green plant, waxy foliage. It's a great plant with blueberries. Now, the thing is, you have to have male and female plants to get berries on them. So what they're doing now, instead of having to get male and female, they're putting them all in one pot, so that you're getting sprigs of male and female in the pot and growing up together. So they like a little bit of winter break from the winter sun. So east exposure or northern exposure is probably a little bit better. And again, well drained. They do like a little acidic soil, but a little garden sulfur will help keep them going in the right direction. But they're a little bit more work than a lot of plants, but boy, are they ever worth it. We even have a variety called Castle Spire, and that thing is currently probably about 5 feet tall and maybe 3 feet around. So again, a nice plant to start as an accent.
And again, you've got them at the nursery?
We sure do, Terry. We're here 9 to 5 during the week and 9 to 2 on Saturday.
I still can't tell the difference between the male and the female.
I can't either. I think few people can, but we know when you don't have fruit, you're missing one.
You're missing one or the other. Jerry, take care. Have a great weekend, okay?
Thank you. You too.
You bet. Jerry Samolsky, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. Matthew, is Joe Kramer ready to talk?
Yes, we do. How are you doing, Mr. Joe Kramer?
How's things going, Joe?
Well, we like the sunshine, Terry. Had a little bit of spotty rain yesterday that got in a few people's way, but there was still a fair amount of harvest going on, and I think there was some rain in the northern part of the thumb last night that's going to delay us a little bit. But I'm thinking maybe we're 20% done. I'm not really sure about that, though.
And about Minnesota, Dakota, whereabouts are they?
Well, I think they've topped 80%. They've got the Navy bean grower price out there pushed down to $33. I don't know if there's much selling. I hear various pricing on pinnos. Black beans are $40 out there, I understand. I think here in Michigan, we're probably $40 on blacks, but guys are all ears about this drought in Mexico to see if that's going to, create some upside for them. And I guess I kind of think that it could down the road. Continue to hear dry conditions in Mexico, and I think we've got a pretty good handle on the fact that crop is about 40% maybe of what they expected, and that's going to leave a pretty big shortfall on their domestic production for us to help fill that gap.
What about stocks on hand reports here for Michigan, Joe?
Good question. I think they're due out any day. We haven't seen it yet, Terry, but appreciate the reminder. I will definitely see it by the end of the month. I think that's another piece of the puzzle when we can see what our inventory was going into harvest. the North Dakota numbers are due out any day as well, and I think that just helps put the puzzle together.
Good information. Joe Kramer, take care. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Terry.
You bet. Joe Kramer with the Michigan Bean Commission. We'll be right back.
Soil prep for next year begins as soon as the harvest is over. Don't miss out on nutrients you can return to your soil. Applying one of Dairy Dew's compost blends or layer manure accelerates the conversion of crop stubble into next year's plant food. That remaining plant material is full of nutrients that you want to return to the soil.
Dairy Dew's compost blends like Layer Ash Blend with Gypsum and Gypsum Plus not only help with releasing nutrients from your crop stubble, they also add beneficial biology and other missing minerals to your soil. Or go with an order of straight layer manure, an economical choice that still offers calcium and sulfur.
Improve your soil health for next year right now with a call to Morgan Composting. Crops don't wait. The seasons don't wait. You shouldn't wait. Address soil health this fall for better yields next year.
Not sure which is the best Dairy Dew product for your fields? Contact a soil health expert at Morgan Composting for a consultation. Call today or visit dairydew.com to learn more.
Healthy plants come from healthy soil. Healthy soil comes from Dairy Dew.
Dow Jones Industrials right now are down 135. That would make a 34,305. The NASDAQ is down 154 at 13,314. The S&P is currently down 42 at 4360. So kind of a tough day in New York. We'll be back at 12:30 with an update, so you stick around for that. Now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Steve Kathan.
I think we have very strong
A strong dialogue with senators, says Ukraine's President Zelensky is making the case for continued U.S. support for his country's bloody struggle with Russia. He made a stop moments ago at the Pentagon.
Right corner. Oh.
Support from Defense Secretary Austin has been